All right, we're going to start looking at rational numbers, kind of starting with those negative integers. This should be reviewed from last year, but we're just going to go kind of using the number line to show how positive and negative numbers match up. So here it says using the thermostat, here's the weather thermometer. 3 of the numbers have been left off. What numbers go in the box? So looking at how it is marking here on the thermostat, it looks like it's every 5 degrees. So 30, so that would be 25, 20, 15, 10, 5, 0. Then once we get past 0, now we're into the negative. So that would be a negative 5. Okay, and those are all in degrees Celsius. The temperature that the thermostat shows, and this is just a guess, but it would be about negative 2 degrees, anywhere from about negative 1 to negative 2, maybe even up to negative 3, but I would say probably negative 2 is a good estimate of where that's at. It's in between the 0 and the negative 5, but it's closer to 0 than it is to negative 5. Okay, so fractions of a degree. So now, with each tick mark on these new ones, it looks like there is, it's 1 for every tick mark. So we'll go ahead and answer these questions. It says what temperature is shown on each thermostat. So this one here, this first one, I'll just write the temperature below. It's 1 tick mark off of 5 below, so it would be 4 degrees. This next one, it is 1, 2, 3 tick marks down after 0, so it'd be negative 3. Next one, it's about halfway in between 5 and 6. So that would be 5 1/2, or 5.5. And this last one, so it's in between the negative 1 and negative 2, and I'd say right about halfway. This would be negative 1 1/2. Okay, which thermometer shows the highest temperature? That would be the 5 1/2 one, so that would be the third one. Okay, which thermometer shows the lowest temperature? So that would be the second one. That would be at negative 3 degrees. Okay, suppose the temperature outside is negative 4 degrees Celsius. Is that colder or warmer than the coldest temperature shown? How do you know? It is going to be colder because negative 4 is further down on the thermometer than negative 3. The negative 4 would be right down here, and the further you get closer in the negatives, or the bigger the negative number, the colder it is. Okay, so this is, you see that negative number line, right? This works on a horizontal number line as well, but once you hit 0, it mirrors everything on the other side. It's just now negative. Okay, it says seagulls soar, sharks swim. Here's a picture of some animals, some sea animals. The number line on the left shows the vertical position of each animal above or below sea level in meters. All right, I'm going to zoom out a little bit so we can see the questions. Okay, question 1, how far above or below the sea level is each animal? Measure to their eye level. Okay, so I will just write this by them. So this bird is at 10 meters above. The dolphin would be right at about 2.5 meters. The penguin is at 0 meters. the shark, it looks like he's at a negative 2.5. And so now the negative numbers are representing below sea level. And this angelfish, that looks like he's right about negative 7.5, because once again he's below sea level. Then the octopus is at negative 10. Okay, it says Mobula Ray is 3 meters above the surface of the ocean. How does its distance from the surface of the ocean compared to the vertical distance from the eye of the jumping dolphin? Okay, so the jumping dolphin was now estimate, but 2.5, so it's going to be 3 minus 2.5 equals 0.5 meters. The flying seagull, that's going to be 10 minus 3, so that'd be 7 meters. So just once again, I'm answering that question. How does its distance from the surface of the ocean compare to the vertical distance from the eye of each animal? So it's 0.5 meters higher than the dolphin. It's 7 meters lower than the seagull. And then it is 13 meters higher than the octopus, but it says distance from the surface of the ocean. So it is, so in this case, it's 13 meters higher than the octopus, but as far as from the ocean, as far as from the vertical, how does the distance from the surface of the ocean compare to the vertical distance from the eye level? So it's only 3 away from the surface of the ocean, where the octopus is 10 meters. So there's a difference of 7 meters there as well. Okay, an albatross is 5 meters above the surface of the ocean. How does its distance from the surface compare to the vertical distance from the eye of the jumping dolphin? So now it's 5. So 5 minus 2.5 equals 2.5. The flying seagull, so 10 minus 5 equals 5. So it's 5 meters closer. It's depending on how you want to look at it. And then the octopus, it is, once again, 10 minus 5. So it's 5 meters closer to the surface of the ocean. Or you could say it is 15 meters from the octopus. Okay, a clownfish is 2 meters below the surface of the ocean. How does its distance from the surface compare to the vertical distance from the eye of the jumping dolphin? So here the jumping dolphin is at 5, so it is, it's 2.5. So once again, it's a 2.5 minus 2, which you're left with 0.5. So there's a difference of 0.5 away from that. However, if you're talking distance from each other, that would be a total distance of 4.5 meters. So the questions aren't necessarily all that specific, what exactly they want. So here's 2 ways that I see it to answer it. The flying seagull, so that would be negative 2, so 10. In this case, it would be, 10 minus 2 equals 8. Right, the seagull is 8 meters further away from the center of the ocean, or from the sea level, or you could say they are 12 meters apart. Then the last one from the octopus, it is 10 minus 2, which equals 8 meters closer to the surface of the ocean, or it's 8 meters apart from the octopus. Okay, it says the vertical distance of a new dolphin from the dolphin in the picture is 3 meters. What is the distance from the surface of the ocean? Okay, so the vertical distance of a new dolphin from the dolphin in the picture is 3 meters. What is the distance from the surface of the ocean? So now this is an open-ended question. If it's 3 meters higher, then that would be 2.5 plus 3, giving you 5.5 meters above the ocean. If it is below the ocean, that would be, let me read that again. The vertical distance of a new dolphin from the dolphin. Yep, so then that would be 3 minus 2.5, or just that it shows up negative, it'd be 2.5 minus 3, which is going to give you a negative 0.5. Okay, so that's just getting your brain thinking of how using those number lines, if you're adding or subtracting, if you're going up, if you're going down, how that all looks. Just double check that I didn't get it completely wrong. Yeah, I think that should. All right, and then the cool down, it says here is the set of assigned numbers: 7, negative 3, 1/2, negative 0.8, 0.8, 1, negative 1/10, negative 2. What are the numbers from least to greatest? So looking at these, the least one would be the highest negative number, so that'd be negative 3, then be negative 2. Then the next one would have to be the negative 0.8 or 0.8. Okay, I've got negative 3, I got the negative 2, negative 0.8. Okay, and then the negative 10th. Okay, then after that we get to the positive numbers, which is going to be 1/2, 0.8, and then last would be 7. So that is those numbers in least to greatest. So the negative 3 is the smallest number, even though it's the largest of the negative numbers. And then it keeps working up. And then once we get past 0, then it just works as a normal. The smallest number comes before the larger number. Okay, it's if these numbers represent temperatures in degrees Celsius, which is the coldest temperature? The coldest temperature would be the negative 3, right? Because the lower the temperature, the colder it is. If these numbers represent elevation in meters, which is the furthest away from the sea level? So furthest away from sea level would be 7. It's 7 meters away from the surface of the ocean. All right. So that was just kind of the introduction of looking at positive and negative numbers on a number line. In this case, it was thermometer, so it was a vertical number line. But it all works the same. You can see the increments we break it up to, and then you can find data or information based on those pictures.